welcome to Business Today Television. I'm Karishma. The aviation sector is buzzing, and now Saudi Arabia's budget airline Flyadeal is eyeing India. To tell us more about the airline's big India plans, I'm joined by Steven Greenway. He's Flyadeal's CEO, and I must say he's a veteran of several successful low-cost carriers, including that of Scoot. Steven, thank you for joining us, and let me begin by asking you, what makes this the right time for Flyadeal to enter India?
Thanks for having me, and greetings for Jeddah. Really, it's just down to aircraft and aircraft availability. We've just taken our 43rd aircraft, and we have an order book that goes up to over 100, and we're getting to that point now where we can now start expanding with our international ambitions.
Okay, great. But I'd like to get back to the same question, that why India is an interesting market for you now?
Well, one thing, population. Massive population, massive market, growing middle class, growing wealth, but also not to forget we have 3 million Indians here in the kingdom, everything from doctors all the way through to people who build streets and buildings. So there is actually a lot of synergy between both countries, a lot of traffic going between both countries, but typically via a waypoint, typically via a third country. And we want to make sure that we're providing more services, direct services between our two countries to tap into the market.
Your parent company, Saudi, already flies to India. There are a couple of sectors that it covers.
That's right.
What is the need of Flyadeal to grab this additional opportunity?
Flyadeal brings in an ability to be able to capture cost-conscious travellers, particularly pilgrims, worker traffic, and VFR, visiting friends and relatives. So we offer a price point that our sister ship or mother carrier, which is Saudi, cannot, simply because of our low cost base and so forth. So that's what we're really focused on, is stimulating the market between our two countries and offering us a price point to be able to do that.
Okay, great. What is the plan and strategy looking like? Have you shortlisted which Indian cities could this serve? I'm sure these could be the busy sectors that you are eyeing on.
Yeah, so Mumbai and Delhi will, of course, always feature. We can't avoid the metropolises. The population base is too great. So that's certainly top of our list. Then secondary cities around the country. But we're also particularly interested in some of the new airports that are opening up over, or are opening up over the next 12 to 18 months as well, because obviously they're brand new catchments for the kingdom as well.
Great. What is the timeline looking like when it comes to the commencement of the services? Are you looking at early next year?
Yeah, so Q1 is what we're hoping for. We obviously still need to complete some paperwork with the authorities, the Indian authorities and the Saudi authorities. We hope to have that complete soon, and we'll kick off. Our intent is to kick off in Q1 and then expand quite rapidly to 4 to 6 destinations over the first half of next year. That's 2026.
Oh, great. And will the India routes be operated by your existing A320 neos, or is there going to be an additional fleet that you're looking at for the Indian market?
Yeah, no, our baseline is the A320s, and we get an aircraft effectively almost every month now up and for the next 4 years, sometimes even more. They'll start with the 320s, and then we'll probably migrate to our 321s, which will start getting delivered next year. That provides another 50 seats, but also a lower unit cost, and so we can be even more competitive in the Indian market and pass on the savings to consumers. Okay,
great. How many will you start with?
How many we'll start with in terms of destinations?
Aircrafts.
Oh, aircraft. In terms of India, we'll probably be dedicating anything but two to three aircraft to the Indian market initially, and that will increase dramatically over the next 1 to 2 years, we think, because it's such an important market for us to be able to get right.
Right. Steven, you know, a couple of airlines in India, especially on the no-frills side, also fly to Saudi. How do you see this competition in the market?
Competition is a given thing when you're in the airline industry, that's for sure. You never take it for granted, and it always increases and becomes more intense. I think what we have above everyone else is we have up to 25 domestic destinations within the kingdom. So once we bring a passenger into the kingdom, let's say over Jeddah, we can move them around the kingdom very, very easily to many other destinations that are simply not served by any other carriers, including Indian carriers. So we have our connections into the main cities like Riyadh and Jeddah, but then we can move our passengers around to select destinations around the country, which we think is a real advantage for us.
Right. On the regulatory front, how deep and advanced are you talking to the Indian government and the airport operators on the slots? Also, are you looking at any collaboration or code share with any Indian airlines?
So a lot to unpack there. So number one, slots already been applied for the airports, for the initial airports that we're wanting to fly to. Number two, traffic rights under the existing regime, which is actually quite generous. There's traffic rights. There's enough traffic rights there for us to be able to start operating what we want to do. So that's really good. Number three is we are in exploratory conversations, or have been, with local players, local Indian airlines, for over 6 months now. We think, as another key ingredient to make sure that this is a success for us, is that we need a local Indian partner. Can't talk about names yet, but hopefully we'll be able to make an announcement over the next couple of months as well.
Very interesting. I'd like to get back to your to the response on traffic rights. You say there are enough traffic rights, but there's been a long-standing debate between Indian Airlines and that of plenty of airlines from Gulf. It's a competition of bilateral rights when it comes to destinations between India and the Gulf. Do you have a view on that?
Yes. Well, we're actually slightly different because we're talking about point to point. We're talking about bringing traffic from the kingdom to India and vice versa. When you talk about Gulf states, I think you're probably talking about the UAE, Dubai in particular, and Qatar, where they're taking passengers out of India over a third country and then shipping them off to Europe or the United States, as an example. That's not what's on the plate here. What's on the plate here is servicing our two populations directly between both countries. That's a very, very different conversation than it is for a third party like Emirates to come in and say, yes, we want your traffic, but it's not going to go to Dubai, it's actually going to go off to somewhere else. And I understand the sensitivities of that, but that's not the conversation we're having, because that's not what we're interested in.
Got it. Do you have a strategy on the pricing side of it? Because you've mentioned that you want to make sure that this is affordable. Have you thought about what's going to be different for Indian passengers?
I'll leave it until our announcement, but we service many different passengers. As we service pilgrims who actually have a different requirements, a different. We have to bundle in baggage, as an example, to individual VFR travellers who just want a handbag and just want to be able to get from A to B as cheaply as possible. Believe me, the market here in Saudi Arabia is incredibly dynamic, just as it is in India, and you will see very price competitive activities out in the marketplace to stimulate the market to get people to come to the kingdom, but also for Indian nationals to be able to travel home and see their friends and family far more often than they can today.
Right. Steven, one question as we come to the end of this interview is, how important is India going to be for your overall expansion plan and also for the 2030 vision?
Incredibly important. So again, India and Saudi Arabia, actually both countries are in the top 5 of their key trading countries between our countries. So our bilateral relationship is incredibly important. India is incredibly important to the story of the 2030 vision, both in terms of the hardware, i.e. people coming over and help us build, people, doctors, etc. They're an absolute part of the kingdom's society. And vice versa, obviously, it's important that India opens up for Saudi Arabians to come and visit your beautiful country. And I think that that's certainly on the small end at the moment, but there's huge potential going forward that Saudis can come over and visit India and all the wonderful things that India has to offer. So there's a lot more to go in terms of our relationship and building that traffic up. And I'm very excited about that.
Great. And what do you think about the Indian aviation market? It's definitely gone under a lot of turbulence in the past few years, but they say that there is light at the end of the tunnel.
I think that's an off-use frame. I always say there's light at the end of the tunnel when things aren't going well, or there's struggles or temptations. But what I would say is, as an outsider looking into the Indian market, it's a phenomenal market. And it's actually one of the few markets that has an LCC that has a majority market share in terms of Indigo at over 60%. So very different market from a lot of other markets around the world. You've got a revitalized Air India group as well. It's very exciting. Just sitting on the sidelines and watching, but now we're coming into the market. We're having to deal with some of those aspects, and it is highly exciting. It is very competitive. And we know that. And we wanted to take our time to make sure that we got the right balance. You mentioned about having a local partner. We identified that a year ago, that we needed a local partner to succeed. So now we're in it right up until our next. We're looking forward to it. We think we understand the market, and we hope we can make it a success. But the market is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal to watch. And now we're going to participate.
Great. And is there something that's going to keep you out of the box and different from the competition? Hot meals, I just put out an idea.
Absolutely. We'll wait and see. But I think we've got a few tricks in our repertoire coming up that I think will surprise people, both in terms of our hard product, our soft product, the way we go about things. Don't forget, we're one of the world's most punctual airlines in the Middle East. We're actually the 10th month in a row in the Middle East, the most punctual airline. So we do a lot of other soft and hard things in terms of making sure that we've got a product proposition. You pay less, you're on time, and we never cancel. They're our three core pillars, but there are a lot of other pillars that we're expanding on over the next couple of months as well, which will make it evident to our customers.
Okay, thank you very much, Steven, for joining us and wishing you luck with the India operations. We hope to see you soon here in Delhi.
Inshallah, as we say here. Thank you very much. I appreciate the time.
Take care.